Started the sports romance with tobacco by proud red Ferraris still carried the colour that denoted their nationality. Largest team since the death of Jochen Rindt in 1970. Australian. As the flag fell, Stewart and Reutemann battled for the lead. The Scot came out on top. Carlos Reutemann, in only his second Grand Prix, could only dream of having a spare car. But his time would come, as would Mario Andretti's. The pole man in Argentina, Reutemann was confident in his Brabham. Drivers to hang the tail out occasionally, with Carlos Reutemann. Then tyres began to second place and 2.9 seconds faster than Fittipaldi. Worked on problems, discussed tactics, or just chatted with their mates.
Hurry. Amongst the new features, the Brabham BT42, owned by Gordon. The latter lost a lap while he was at it, having started just in front of his teammate, Stewart. 0.18 kilometres long, 80 laps on the programme. Despite his 43 years, he was and the feeling that the situation was going to resolve itself on the podium, while neither Stewart nor Fittipaldi were to be seen. Flat out and led the dance, while Fittipaldi was too handicapped by his injury. He stopped and gave up on the second. It meant Williamson burned in his car. It was Peterson who got off to the best start. Mazzaria, Peterson, but Stewart was also in the face of this wild young victory of the year, 7/10 in front of Hunt, Reutemann third, Fittipaldi sixth. 25th season in the history of Formula One about to begin in Argentina, Buenos Aires. Well, everyone is pleased to be on Juan Manuel Fangio's home ground, especially since he always comes to visit. Well, that said, the field has seen some important changes. We recognise most of the faces, but there are at least two missing: Jackie Stewart and Francois Sever. The first holder of the World Championship title retired on the same day that the second was killed, during the McLaren alongside Dennis Hume. Scheckter abandons a bit before the halfway stage after rupturing his cylinder head gasket. Spark plug problem. Worth noting though, now approaching the end of the race, the crowd jubilant because Reutemann is still leading. But the Argentinian, whose engine is playing up more and more, is due to go on to win his first title. Well, Fittipaldi took pole in front of Reutemann, who's obviously on form at the beginning of the season and is eager for revenge. He takes the lead from the start. But in the fourth lap, Peterson goes into the lead. Reutemann's tyres are suffering in the heat. Peterson has got to keep his eyes on Fittipaldi. 2 months later, the South African Grand Prix, sadly without Peter Revson, who had been killed shortly before during private testing. Niki Lauda takes his first pole, and it's clear now that there will be plenty more to come during the races of this season. Watch Peterson's Lotus, which manages to collide with that of his teammate Jackie Ickx. Jochen Mass Surtees and Henry Pescarolo's BRM also get, well, surprised during the 10th lap. Reutemann goes into the lead. The number 14 is Jean-Pierre. Seems rather surprised by his race and the result.
Ancien modèle. Dès le deuxième tour, Jean-Pierre Jarier en pleine forme, double Peterson pour le tir de Peterson qui navigue à la 7e place. Zonier Peterson pour la 3e, Reutemann et Fittipaldi, Ickx, Elwood et Beltoise. Elwood sort violemment et se fracture la jambe droite. Le spectacle est somptueux, tous les pilotes se suivent, prêts à profiter de la moindre erreur de l'adversaire. Premier abandon de taille, Scheckter qui casse son moteur au 9e tour. Rothman caracole toujours en tête, mais personne ne peut prétendre passer un dimanche tranquille. C'est au tour de Lauda de connaître quelques problèmes et derrière, on commence à klaxonner. À quelques tours de l'arrivée, la situation a évolué. Rothman mène devant Ulm, Lauda ayant dû abandonner sur casse-moteur. X et Depailler s'accrochent tandis que Regazzoni s'arrête pour changer sa roue arrière gauche. Peterson. Bref, seul Rothman est passé à travers les ennuis. Pache, Regazzoni, Peterson et John Watson. Se succéder, à commencer par Scheckter au 49e tour. La chaîne américaine ABC est réunie côte à côte Fittipaldi. Les positions, Rothman, Hunt, Pache, Lauda, Scheckter, Fittipaldi, Regazzoni. Dès le 2e tour, on s'aperçoit que Regazzoni est en difficulté. Il s'est fait lâcher par Fittipaldi et est maintenant menacé par tout un groupe. Il arrête au 14e tour pour changer ses 2 roues avant. Rien ne peut empêcher Rothman de l'emporter devant Pache, Hunt et Fittipaldi. Cette 4e place est synonyme de titre pour le Brésilien qui enlève sa 2e couronne après celle de 1972. Rothman est donc le vainqueur du jour pour ce qui est son 3e succès de la saison, un score identique à celui de Fittipaldi qui a été plus constant sur l'ensemble de l'année. Du côté des constructeurs, c'est McLaren qui l'emporte devant Ferrari, Tyrrell et Lotus. Ainsi s'achève la saison 74.